States that will rob you blind, draining your finances through exorbitant costs of living, sky-high taxes, and every fee imaginable. These are the states that seem to have forgotten they exist to serve the people, and instead act like money-making machines with endless demands on your hard-earned cash. From real estate to traffic fines, these states will charge you for anything they can. Let's get into it. Number 7, Maryland. Maryland, home to the scenic Chesapeake Bay and famed crab cakes, yet far from the idyllic haven you might imagine. The real story? Maryland's a financial minefield. From property taxes to state income taxes, Maryland will drain your wallet faster than you can say Old Bay seasoning. The state's tax burden stands at a hefty 9.3%, which isn't the worst in the nation but is certainly far from the best. And the cost of living? It's nothing to scoff at. The median home price is around $433,000. And if you're anywhere near the DC metro area, prepare to add some serious zeros to that figure. Baltimore, with its charm, comes with its own slew of financial headaches, parking fees being just one of them. If you manage to park without getting towed or ticketed, consider yourself lucky. Traffic jams are legendary, particularly around the DC metro and the Baltimore Beltway. Survive your commute, and you might still find yourself forking out cash for hefty traffic fines. To live comfortably in Maryland, you'll need an annual salary of at least $97,000. And double that if you're in the DC suburbs. Ouch. Number 6, Connecticut. Welcome to Connecticut, where the rich thrive and everyone else just tries to get by. Connecticut is notorious for having some of the highest property taxes in the nation, and they're proud of it. Whether you own a charming colonial home or a modest starter house, the state is going to take a significant chunk of your earnings. The median home price is around $436,000, and that's before you add in steep costs for utilities and other necessities. Parking fees in cities like New Haven and Hartford could easily make you consider selling your car. And let's not even talk about traffic fines. If you're in a hurry to get out of Connecticut, and many are, you might get slapped with a hefty ticket. Living here is not for the faint-hearted. The average tax burden is 10.1%, and the average person needs a salary of $105,000 to live comfortably. Unless you're one of the state's wealthiest residents, making ends meet in Connecticut is a challenge. Number 5, Alaska. Alaska may not come to mind when you think about costly living, but don't be fooled by its remote location and natural beauty. While the median home price of around $377,000 may not seem too high compared to other states, the costs of everyday life pile up quickly. Groceries are significantly more expensive, often flown in from the mainland, and utility bills can skyrocket during the state's harsh winters. Though Alaska doesn't impose a state income tax, the overall cost of living remains high. Parking fees in urban areas like Anchorage are no joke, and speeding on icy roads can result in fines that are just as steep as the mountains. The silver lining? Alaska has the lowest average tax burden in the country at 4.9%, but that won't necessarily make life affordable. To live comfortably in the last frontier, expect to need an income of around $116,000. Number 4, Oregon. Oregon may be known for its laid-back, quirky vibe, but don't let that fool you. Living here is far from affordable. In Portland, the state's largest city, housing costs will hit you hard, with the median home price hovering around $511,000. While the state doesn't impose a sales tax, it makes up for it with other taxes, including property taxes and an extra levy to help house the homeless in the Portland area. Living comfortably in Oregon requires an income of at least $114,000, and the state's overall tax burden is 8.4%, which is above the national average. Combine that with costly traffic fines and astronomical parking fees in Portland, and you'll soon see why Oregon has made this list. Number 3, New Jersey. The Garden State may sound pleasant, but don't be fooled. New Jersey is anything but. The median home price here is an eye-watering $550,000, and that's in a state where many of the cities are less than glamorous. Its proximity to New York City artificially inflates property values, meaning you'll pay more simply because it's a commuter hub. Taxes in New Jersey are some of the highest in the country, with a 10.1% average tax burden. Property taxes alone will have you wondering why anyone bothers to live here. On top of that, living comfortably requires an income of $117,000. Be prepared for heavy traffic fines and high costs for parking as well. Number 2, Washington. Washington state might be the Pacific Northwest's crown jewel, but it comes at a price. Seattle, the largest city, has a median home price of around $800,000. Even outside of Seattle, the state's average home price is still around $615,000, far higher than the national average. Washington also boasts some of the highest sales taxes in the country. While there's no state income tax, the tax burden still sits at 8.4%. The cost of living is high across the board, from groceries to utilities, and parking fees in Seattle are astronomical. If you want to live comfortably in Washington, plan on needing at least $123,000 a year, and in Seattle, closer to $250,000. Number 1, New York. Unsurprisingly, New York tops the list. The median home price across the state is around $477,000. But if you're in New York City, you're looking at upwards of $900,000 just for an apartment. Taxes are relentless here, with both city and state taxes piling up, making it nearly impossible to catch a break. The cost of living in Manhattan will leave you gasping for air, with rents and property prices that defy belief. The average person needs around $144,000 to live comfortably in New York State, but in the city, you'll need far more. For those willing to brave it, good luck. New York will rob you blind faster than you can say, the Big Apple. That wraps up our list of the 7 U.S. states that will rob you blind. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Fact Finder for more eye-opening content.